Leisure Homes isn't just a great company, it's a company that makes a difference.
Hi everyone, I've got Dave and Trudy with me here today, and we've been working on something really exciting in the background, which is our vision statement. So come and join us today as we chat through it.
Yeah, so starting from the beginning really, the vision statement's something that sort of tries to bring together what we feel really about the business, I think at its highest level. And we're all real passionate about the business, the people that are in it, and we all have a feeling how the business feels, but trying to get it down into a document over a few pages is what we've been trying to do. And it's bit to untangle a bit of a bowl of spaghetti really, hasn't it, of documenting and putting into words over certain areas how we want it to be communicated to all our stakeholders, whether it be supply chain, our own staff or our customers. So this 3-page document that we've got, 3 or 4-page document that we've got, just spells out how we feel as a business really. I think the best way to describe it.
I think our sort of passion for the business and passion for the culture really comes through, and this is kind of what we want to be getting through to our suppliers and our customers. Exactly. And for me, it's been a really interesting process and enjoyable.
And it came about through a book called Vivid Vision, helped us sort of align on it. And to kick off into the first bit, the best company to work for, I think, there's a reason that that's first. And the whole point in everything that we do, I wanted to be a good employer. And I think that I want the people that work for this business now to be able to say in a few years or wherever they may end up in the journey of life is, I was at Beverley then. Yeah. I was there around 2025 and I was doing all this, and it was, it was a good time to be there, and it's nice that we've always got that place where we remember where it was good to work. It might have only been for a short period of time. We hope it's longer, but I want that feeling for people to be here. I don't want people having that dread on a Sunday night of coming to work, and that to me, we can go into it further in the wording, but having people that are proud to work here across the board.
And it's sort of a safe environment to grow, have a voice, and you feel like you're going to be developed and you're going to be listened to. I think that's within the business.
Yeah, I think people. It's nice for people to have some type of pathway. And one thing I've learned in my time doing what I do is that what people want changes.
Yeah.
Sometimes they might have loads going on at home, they might have a newborn baby at home or whatever, and they just want leaving alone. They just want to come in, do their hours and go home. And work's not a massive priority for them, and that's cool, that's fine. And then there's other time where people are feeling quite ambitious and they want to be able to see, right, if I do this qualification, will I get there in 2 years? And it's our job to nurture them changes within people and think, right, well, where are you in your personal life? I don't want to we're not nosy as employers, but we want to be able to understand where they are in the personal life. So we're either leaving them be and letting them get on with their life, or we're pushing them a little bit into management roles or into other qualifications that sit within it. So I think we want to be the best company to work for. We want people to think, wouldn't it be great to work there, whether it be just a reputation or the sounds coming out of our own staff. And the one-to-one side of it, opening up discussion, having that great dialogue with people, to sit down every couple of times a year. Where are you? How do you feel on a Sunday night before work? How can we structure this experience that you have here during the week to be better?
Yeah.
What's the nail in your boot, for want of a better description? What's annoying you on a daily basis?
Celebrate when people do not tolerate inefficiencies. We don't want we want everybody to actually be bringing their ideas. And just because I've always wanted to share this story, now I'm going to do it now. And we might just do a viral, innit? When I was at my supply chain company, and I was customer service logistics manager, and I was trying to get my team to get more on the shop floor and understand what was going on in the business and stuff like that, which unbelievably was really new. It was not normal, which was a bit of a surprise to me anyway. And I was going to this meeting on the shop floor on a Monday, and the plant manager actually said to me, you do know that you need to talk a little bit different to these people. And I thought, oh, okay then. And I went to this meeting and I thought, oh my word, what must he think of me? Like, these people are so bright, they know exactly what's going on, they are amazing. Do you know how they was presenting themselves in the meeting, the things they was bringing to the table? And I thought, how has that ever been a thing? And that's really important for me here, that I want everybody to feel how we feel about when we get a sale. I want that to ripple through the company. I want everybody to feel good about what they're doing, but equally I want everyone to feel like we're all part of a team. And of course you need hierarchy, of course you need the management, but in terms of, you know, everybody's got a voice and how important you are, whatever job you do, I think that is for our culture, and that sort of comes through here. That is what we're striving to be like. So
I think that goes into the next one of
Yeah.
best buzz, doesn't it, really?
yeah.
You know, and it's difficult to get the wording on this, because how do you put a feeling behind what is just a feeling?
Yeah.
What's coming out of the business? And we spoke about it yesterday, and said that for the first time, we've got a feeling in our branding, whether it be the font that we use, whether it be the colours that run through everything.
Yeah.
You know, there's a feel about the business now. And before, it was just me shouting my mouth off on LinkedIn and recording health and safety sounds.
Yeah.
But now we're not that business. We are developing as a business, and now we've got our brand identity is what I'm trying to get to. You know, and that comes across in all our documentation, in our handbooks, in our sales, in the brochures and everything. So that's one part of getting the buzz right for the business, and everything else is how we conduct ourselves. Know that we're a positive force within the industry.
Yeah.
Because we feel that.
Yeah.
And how do we get that positive force through the rest of the supply chain? Stakeholders, I'm talking about supply chain, our own staff, and our customers.
Yeah.
We want them to think, we want to align our brand with Beverley because they have got this buzz going around them.
Yeah.
A lot of people are talking about this business. We know the quality's right, we know the aftercare's right,
Yeah.
and it's getting that out there, and that is the buzz, isn't it?
It is, and I think this is a real good start, because what we'd like to do is, what we will be doing is sharing this with our suppliers and getting them on board with it, because obviously from your supply chain and all your partners, knowing where you want to be, knowing how you think, you would like to think that they will start thinking similar, or if something comes up, they're like, this is a Beverley thing, or let's get Beverley involved in this, or it might, support them in thinking a little bit out of the box. That blue ocean thinking, which we won't go into today, but certainly something that we've really looked at.
Yeah, I think you touched on it there, the supporting businesses, there's so much change now with AI. It's just going to be like, the biggest change it's just as big as the internet coming along, Google, whatever it may be. And it's how does any business adapt to that? We're all learning.
Yeah.
But to be at the forefront of that, we did a talk recently at a BH and HPA event on how we integrate AI into our business.
Yeah.
That is a really good example of us thinking, as far forward as we possibly can, but also being quite open about, look, this is what we're doing. We know we're not massively advanced, but we are doing. There's forward motion in this area, and we're playing with it, and this is what we've learned.
Yeah.
And I always remember sort of Excel coming into the world and walking past somebody, and everyone had their own little way of using Excel, and they picked up little bits. And I think the conversation around how we use AI and how other businesses use AI coming into that is exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's like, I never thought of that. Never thought of uploading that picture in and see what the chat thought of whatever it may be.
Yeah. So how you think about innovation, it could be when you're talking about the sustainability of the lodge, or which we are strong in, sort of our digital presence, how we manage our systems, our processes. We're certainly driving that forward with our partners and customers.
Yeah, and I think, sustainability is a word that's bounced around an awful lot, from your greenwashing to even just companies coming in and offering a bit of advice on how you can make things more sustainable. Well, to me, it's like it's gone too far down the road. We haven't sorted out the groundworks, if you like, the foundations of sustainability. There's no point in thinking about how to make a lodge in a more sustainable manner if you're not there to make it.
Yeah.
So it's how do we conduct our business first and foremost in a sustainable way that we're actually going to be here to start looking at things to reduce carbon.
Yeah.
Because sustainability and carbon, yeah, of course, are linked. But you have to run a sustainable business to implement carbon reduction in the first place.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the conversations that happen about sustainability are so far down the road that they aren't taken into consideration. Hang on a minute, are we actually going to be here to be able to be, looking at these things properly? Then we can look at everything else from there, which we are doing, working towards net zero and something that we're all passionate about. And the shop floor drives this massively. And I didn't think this would happen. And I didn't think we'd have the people coming in from the shop floor saying, well, this is a waste of paper. Do you know, I thought it would be all, oh, well, if you get me this, I can do this faster, or health and safety things. But for them to be driving the sustainability side, you can see it's coming up in our culture as across the board, that people are coming in and, oh, well, we're car sharing now, or we're doing this now, or and the paper's a good example. Do we really need this amount of paper coming out? Well, no, we don't actually.
Yeah.
And we'd love the sustainability or a certain percentage of it to be driven by the people on the shop floor. I take it, and I think this document explains
And it's all
that well.
efficiencies.
It's all
It's all cost savings, and it's all keeping your staff working and sustaining their lifestyle. Being confident that they're going to have a full-time job, and it's not going to disappear in the next 2 years because things haven't been managed correctly.
Really good point.
It all kind of trickles down to that being the best employer, doesn't it? So
Yeah.
it's all so well linked.
How do we, reduce? There's always worry, especially in this industry, that the company that you are working for is going to go pop. And I think, putting the cards on the table, we share our order book with all our staff. Everyone knows where we are. Good times, bad times, here's where we are, and this is what we're doing about it. Because we believe in good communication. And that, again, through all stakeholders. So how are we communicating where we are as a business to the parks that we deal with? How are we saying, look, we are running our business in a sustainable way. We are going to be here in the next 5 to 10 years, and be confident to put the orders in. And then the communication to our own team. So, we're communicating that well to all our stakeholders. Is what I think. In that
absolutely.
respect.
And I think, like you say, with the suppliers, it sort of crossed my mind yesterday when, obviously, with the news of Atlas and things like that, and we reached out, everyone got together and reached out to the employees, and I'm not sure how much reaching out went out to the suppliers. And it was a bit of a, for us, a learning, like to say, are you all right? Do you know, is there anything we need to be aware of? And that's really everyone doing a bit of that. Do you know, it's
just having each other's back, innit?
Exactly,
we are a close industry, we're all in the same area. We're all building a similar product as much as we like to pretend different. So I think in that respect, we do a good job of making sure that people feel safe and secure at its highest level. They need to know that there's going to be a job there for them. And if we can take out a certain percentage of that worry by communicating what we're doing openly, celebrating the wins and communicating the losses as well. So, and I think, we touched on supply chain there, best to buy from. And I think from the supply chain day that we did the other year to the way that we conduct ourselves with our supply chain, I'm really proud of that. I know that I often say to people that don't know the business, and I'm a bit of a sales pitch really, and I can say with confidence to anybody, speak to any of our suppliers, pick up the phone, speak to a supplier. We will be in the top 3 of companies that they're like dealing with. I can guarantee it, for the way that people are spoke to on the phone when they ring, from the way that we treat a salesman when they come in, a salesperson comes in and tries to sell something here, to the people that deal with on a daily basis. We know it's a two-way street. We lean on our suppliers. Oh, we've got this order coming in quick. How fast can you turn this round? Or it might be a supplier saying to us, oh, well, we've had this delivered and it's a different size. Is there anything you can help us with? And we can change our processes to help the supply chain. So that two-way communication, and it's not always just about cash flow and when things are arriving and coming out. It could be that the example I've just used of, we've got an issue with something, it's not how we expected it to be. How does everyone feel about this in the chain? Will your customer mind that it's slightly different? We think it's an improvement. But as long as we know that, we can communicate, we can put in the design and get it out. And if we can support the supply chain, then of course we're going to do it, because we need the support.
So I think it's absolutely great. So we've got this document that now everyone can have this shared vision. So everyone's sort of singing off the same hymn sheet, if you will.
Yeah.
We all know what we want the business to feel like, look like in the next year, 3, 5 years, which is brilliant. To wrap it all up, so why does this matter?
It's always mattered what the business looks like from outside. So if someone came and started rummaging around in the business, what's our systems look like? You know, are we forecasting things? Have we got this in place? What happens when an order's placed? And it finishes off by saying Beverley Leisure Homes isn't just a great company, it's a company that makes a difference.
Yeah.
That we're respected, trusted and proud of what we've accomplished. I don't think there's any better ways to sort of wrap it up really.
Yeah.
Truly making it personal for anybody that has interactions with the business. Could be delivery driver, salesperson, park owner, staff members, supply chain. We want everyone to come away saying, they're a nice set.
Yeah.
They're lovely. Do you know, and if we can achieve that, then the feeling about the business is excellent, and this document just puts it into words.
Yeah.
I think proud is a lovely word to finish.
Thank you. Tell me why. I don't